And then if we look into the other part of it, the nature of our mind, do you know what this is? These type of things are called bell curves, bell distributions or Gaussian distributions. Basically, it's a very interesting phenomena. If you take any statistic in the world, they usually fit in these type of curves. There's a majority of average people, there's a minority of really poor people, and a minority of very elite people. So anything would fall under this usual bell curve. It's bell curve because it's the shape of a bell. But then if we look into our mind, so that's the physical statistics and physical nature of the world. But if you look into our mind, our happiest moments, they started, they peaked, and they went away. It sort of follows the movement of this bell curve, or like a wave or a mountain. It starts, gets into a peak, and then it goes away. It has that nature, right? So again, if we think of the most happiest point in your life, it peaked, it plateaued, and then it went downhills from there. Like people who are addicted, they need something to feel high. They take it, they feel peaked, and it goes down, and then there's withdrawal now. So you need to take another one. So we can see this nature, and this nature again is described. Again, I'm taking a little bit of Hinduism now. I'm taking Hinduism so you would know this is Hinduism and this is Buddhism. They have similar components, but they are also somewhat different. So there's a beautiful concept in Hinduism called the Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity. Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva are the Holy Trinity in Hinduism. But this Holy Trinity is actually... So Brahma, on the yellow color being, he's the creator of the world. But then the creator of Hindu universe is not given a lot of importance. Like in the Abrahamic religions, creator is the most important being in the world, creator. But in Hindu philosophy, some people do worship Brahma, but some even don't look into Brahma very seriously. He did the thing, but he's not the most important thing. But then you have the blue color Shiva, Vishnu. Vishnu is the one who keeps it going. He's the balance. He keeps it going. But then you have the most important one, the destroyer, Shiva, the one with the trident. So Adiyogi Shiva is the third one. But then what is this concept trying to tell us? You would even find when you chant the Vedic mantras, Vedic chants, it always starts with Om. Om. The Om is actually a combination of three syllables. A, O, M. A, M. That's how it goes. So it represents this the Trinity. A, the creation. A, because it's the first syllable of any child. A. Right? And then it keeps going. And then it ends. After your mouth is sealed. Destroyed. Right? So it's a depiction of this same idea. Or it could be real gods. Regardless of that, it's just we can see this nature. Now, since Buddhism has a lot of things which comes from Hinduism, Buddhism talks about this nature. Uppada, Titi, Bhanga. Now, the Pali words mean the birth, the existence, and the end of it. Bhanga. Bhanga means the end. Uppada means the beginning. Birth, existence, and the end. Further going on a little more, if you are exposed to Buddhism in both the Mahayana and Theravada, you would find that Buddhists are talking about the cosmic cycles, a kalpa or a mahakalpa. There's this idea. But then again, this is not inherently a Buddhist idea. It's more of a Vedic idea. It appears in the Hindu Veda. According to Hinduism, according to theism in the West, like the Abrahamic religions, the existence of the life is more linear. There's a creation, and then you go on that to an eternal life. It's a linear path. But in Vedic Oriental philosophy, it's not linear, it's cyclical. It's a cycle. So there's a cosmic cycle, The beginning is called the Satya Yuga or the Kruta Yuga. That's where the beginning happens. And then the second, the Trita, Dwapara, and Kali. Kali is the bad and the ending period. And according to Hindus, we live in the Kali Yuga now, which is the bad Armageddon period. But then the good thing is that after the Kali Yuga, there's a new Yuga. So it keeps going. So everything gets reincarnated, it gets cycled and recycled, and then it keeps going. So this is the explanation according to Hinduism. So they say that during the first Yuga, the Satya Yuga, the moral righteousness or Dharma. Okay, now Dharma, which we discussed in Buddhism, is something different. It's a nature of our conscious experience. But the Dharma in Hinduism is about the moral righteousness, duty, what is right. So Dharma is 100% at the first period. Then it drops down to 75%, 50%, and 25%. So your moral righteousness is pretty low right now because we are supposed to live in the Kali Yuga now, 25%, pretty bad. But there was an early stage which it was 100%. We were very moral. And then there's again another depiction of a lot of animals. But I'm just telling this story. We don't have to literally believe in these stories, but maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But our takeout here is how can we apply it to our mental existence, our mind. So if you look into the left hand side, the first one who appears in the Satya Yuga is a fish called Matsya. So there's a book called Matsya Purana in Vedic scripture. So Matsya is the fish, and then you have the tortoise, and then the wild boar, the boar, and a lion up to the fourth point here. So they appear in the first part of the cosmic cycle. Then it goes to Vamana, a dwarf Brahmin or a ape Vamana, and Parusharama, warrior with an axe, and then the Rama. I don't know if you have heard of Rama in the Hindu world. Rama is a important character which appears in an epic tale called Ramayana. So Rama. So these so we are 1, 2, 3, 4. The fish and the turtle and the boar and the lion, and then the Vamana, the ape, Parashurama, and then the Rama. So we had the third here in the middle, the blue one. So now we have done the Trita Yuga. We come to the Dwapara Yuga. There are two important, there's one person called Krishna. Krishna is again a long story, but he's depicted as he's a strategist, a different depiction of the purity, because he can't be completely pure. The moral righteousness of the world is different now. So he's acting according to that need of the world, because in the Dwapara Yuga it's 50% morality, right? And then you come to the Kali Yuga, there are two important people. One has come, which is the Buddha. Hang on, how is Buddha in the Hindu cosmic cycle? Now this is where we find the two integration. This is called the Dasa Avatara, or the 10 avatars. So the 9th avatar happened to be Buddha. So somehow Buddha appeared in that. So because of this, there's a lot of confusion. What is Hinduism? What is Buddhism? I introduced this slide because we need to understand that there are overlapping parts. For example, the Uppada Titi Bhanga is very much in line with the Hindu idea of Uppada Titi Bhanga. But then again, certain ideas are completely different. So if we do not understand the slight nuances, we might think that that is the same thing. And in South Indian countries, like in Sri Lanka, there's a famous food called kottu roti. I don't know if you have tried kottu roti. It's a lot of things put together and then chopped with the music, and that's called kottu roti. So the religion can become a big kottu roti, a big pile of things where we are very confused. So let's look into it with some understanding that there are certain things in one religion, and another religion talks about similar things but with a slightly different definition or a nuanced idea. So then we have the cyclical nature here, and then there's a last one called the Kalki, which appears in Hinduism. Kalki is the savior who's going to come on a horse with a sword. He's going to save the world. Savior. So I think again it's a deep down psychological need that we need a savior to come and rescue us. So the Buddhists, they have taken him as the Maitri Buddha. Maitri Buddha is the next Buddha who's going to come. He's going to save us from all that. So again, this is not the early Buddhism. These are different amalgamations of Buddhism and different ideologies which have branched out. But then again, let's look into the more important aspect of it, the nature of our mind. So the nature of our thoughts and emotions are like this mountain. There's a beginning, the base of the mountain, and then they go to a peak, and then they seem to be going away. They change. Is that right? That happiest moment, was there a build up to that? And then there's a peak and a plateau, and then it went away. Right? So this idea of the mind is known in Pali language as upachaya, or the birth, upachaya, the beginning of something. Now we are not literally talking about the physical realm of things, we are talking about the mental realm of things. Any idea has a beginning. But have you ever seen the rain? No, that's not what I'm going to tell. Have you ever seen the beginning of the thought? Have you ever seen the beginning of a thought? You have seen thoughts, you have experienced thoughts. If you are mindful, you can experience thoughts. But have you seen the beginning of a thought? So we are not going to do this theoretically. Let's look into that more practically during our meditations and our practices. So the first thing is upachaya. And then santiti is the existence of that. It keeps going, santiti. And then there's this natural nature. It keeps on degrading. It deteriorates, called jara. Right? I used the word jara earlier. Upachaya, santiti, jarata. But then the very natural nature of our mind, after one mountain, there's another mountain. So this is called anicchata. Anicca. Have you heard the word anicca? Yeah. Impermanence, change. So this is the nature of our mind. We have a stream of thought which starts, which we do not know how it started, but we know the existence. We probably slightly feel that it's going to degrade now. It's getting faint. And then it's right after that, it switches to another stream of ideas, another thought or an emotion. But we don't again see the switch. We see that it has changed. We see, I was thinking about something else before, now I'm thinking of something else. Right? So, upachaya, santiti, jarata, anicchata. This is a nature of mind. Now, is this theory or is this practical? It's practical, right? So again, that's why this is not a religion. Religion would say, believe in this. You don't have to believe in this. You only have to observe that. But maybe you could not observe the two things, upachaya and jarata, and even anicchata. In fact, santiti and jarata are the ones which are more observable. But it's very hard to observe the beginning of a thought, the switching of the thought to something else. Right? So let's try to observe that during our meditation practices. So if we look into more ways of our happiness, it's like this continuous peaks. We need something, we climb a peak and then it fades away. Then in order to sustain that, we need another peak. We need to climb somewhere else. So that is our happiness nature. And there's this nature in our mind, we can't be happy with the same thing forever. Is that right? Let's take that you like something, you like a physical item. Let's say that you like a particular phone brand, Apple iPhone 20 when it comes. We are waiting to, like, especially those young tech kids, they like, those gadgets, right? I want to get this new phone with so many things. You buy that. How long do you think that happiness would sustain? 2 years? No way, because the new version is coming after 1 year, right? So you use it for a few days. After about a month, you're not so interested about that. So that's about the physical possessions. How about people? You find a new partner, wonderful, the best ever time in my life. But after the infatuation, it sort of goes down. We are trying to keep it going, but it's not as good as the first few days that you fell in love with, right? In any relationship. It's called the infatuated period. That's where the love is blind, but that's the most beautiful time of the human love experience also, right? Um, so there's this nature. We need something to always keep going to a point that it always looks as grass is green on the other side. Right? We are never happy with what we have. When we are busy, we want to go and retrieve and go to a meditation retreat. When we are in the retreat, we want to plan about the next meditation retreat. Right? So we always do not know how to enjoy what we have, but we are designed to look for something which is always changing. We love the change. It's like anicchata, or the continuous change of our thoughts, is a nature in our mind, but we are in love with that nature. We are addicted to that nature. We are addicted to anicca nature. So we find that. So our hobbies, the most loved song, which was in your mind all the time, everything changes from politician to whatever. It keeps on changing, and we need something new every time. And then there's another word I will introduce you at a later point called tanha, or craving, the cause of this, but let's not go there. But we have this need to be continuously better, because we do these things to satisfy ourselves. We want to continuously be better. From starting the fire of the cavemen, they made Paleolithic tools, and they made bronze and metal tools. Now we have computers. We are going to make so many other things. We want to continuously become better. So we have that need or craving, which is also called tanha loosely. So we have that nature. There's a wonderful index called the Zuckerman sensation-seeking cycle in psychology. Zuckerman's sensation-seeking cycle. It's for it's to basically, it's like a psychometric test to see what is your tendency to have new things. So some people are slightly slow on this. Some people are very fast on this. They continuously need new things. They need new challenges. It's called neophilia. It's not necessarily a disease or something. It's the nature of everyone. But some people have it more than the others. To a point, they are adrenaline junkies. They want to, do certain things, ski, surf, right? I would consider even myself to be that. I wanted so many things to satisfy myself in my younger days. I have done a lot of things, adventure, sports, been to places, continuously looking for that new thing, right? Unless you get that new thing, you are not satisfied. So impulsive risk-taking behaviors are also associated with that point. To a point, this seeking itself is very tiring. I don't know if you have ever felt that. If you are a seeker of thrill and adventure, that seeking itself can be tiring. So there's this thing. Before I became a monk, I lived as a layman for 35 years. At the age of 35, I got ordained. But especially during my younger adult period, like when I was young, I had a lot of girlfriends. And I'm actually taking out from my own experience, my average cycle would be like 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and then I want to go for a new person. I'm not proud of that nature. But that's what happened to me as a young boy. That's what happened to me as a young boy. And now I was married also, but then again, maybe some people who knows my life knows this, but the reason I got married, because I was tired of that. I was tired of continuously having to shift from one person to the other. I was actually tired of my nature of my mind. I don't know if you have ever felt that. I thought if I get married, that is going to put to an end to this, because you are married now, you have to be in one relationship. I start going out with a new person, and then after a few months, it's just giving less happiness. So I need to seek someone else. And so you do that. But then there's a whole sort of other things which are associated with that. Heartbreaks and all that. Very angry boyfriends and fiancés and, even husbands sometimes. So again, I'm not proud of that part. But it is, maybe not to the extent of me, but most people experience that with something in your life. It could be relationships, it could be adventure, it could be your personal, your career goals, with anything, right? There's this continuous need for betterment, and then some people get tired of this need. Some people don't, so they keep on going like the donkeys until you're completely tired. You can't get out of it. But I got really tired. I sort of got tired early. The reason I think why I got tired is that I was living my life in 2x or 3x speed. I went very 2x is like on YouTube you can play 1x or 2x. You can expedite it. You can go faster. So I was trying to do things faster. So over about 10 years, I gotten about 20, 30 years of experience, which is good. But I also got very tired of doing that because it's tiring, right? But tiring is not because you don't have happiness. You are very happy. Again, people, there's a lot of people that sometimes get connected to me who now listen to me as a monk. They know my life from childhood. I was never depressed in my life. I mean, I have had a lot of negative things in my life, but it's very hard for me to be depressed and stay depressed for 2 days. I can't do that. I'm very naturally a happy person. I'm always smiling. Like people from my childhood, they would say, we always remember you as someone who's smiling all the time and joking around. But I was tired of that happiness, right? So that could happen. So I'm not talking about the negative aspect of life. Even if you are the most happy person, there's a tiredness associated with that happiness, right? In order to go there, a lot of people can't do that because they are bound by either time, money, or energy. But if you just forget all that, forget the conventional rules, find an unconventional, radical rule, you might break out of that cycle. But it's a little radical. There's a cost associated with that. Some people don't like it, but then you can really be happy, and then you can get bored of that happiness, right? So then let's look at the other nature. So if you look at these things which gives us happiness, some stay for long, some are short-lived happinesses. There are instant gratification nowadays with TikTok and YouTube and all that. There's instant gratification. Some tend to stay longer in your life. So we find that nature, the instant gratification and the more long-term sustained gratifying feeling. With happiness, which is associated with the other four heaps, elements of the external world, you would also find this suspense of waiting. Like if you have to wait for an episode of your most favorite drama, it doesn't come right away. You have to wait for it, right? You need to wait for the next release of the iPhone, next release of whatever, until that person that I love returns from his duty in his job in whatever the country, or from his workplace, right? Let's say that I took these two people. I don't know if you know them. That's Avicii. Used to be one of my favorite DJs. I wanted to see him in this music festival in Belgium. What's that? I forgot. It's the biggest music festival in Europe, in the world. About 1 million people come there. A lot of young people, a lot of not legal things. But Avicii was a famous DJ there. But Avicii killed himself. He committed suicide. And Anthony Bourdain also, celebrity chef, he killed himself. Now, if you look into the life of these people, there are some people, especially the artists, right? They usually for you to become happy, you need some external validation, right? These guys, they get the external validation. People love them. Just because you have money, people don't necessarily like you. Someone was talking to me about the current president. Before he became a president 15 years back, he was a very wealthy guy, but people hated him for his arrogance, right, at that time. So you can have money, but you are not popular. Not everyone loves you. But artists, celebrities like this, they are loved, and they get their money. Maybe they don't have the same flexibility of life, but they can do a lot of things. And once you reach this extreme happiness, a lot of people tend to go the other way and commit suicide, right? And I was in a very state of euphoric, ecstatic stage at one point. I never wanted to commit suicide, but I ran out of things to do. Ran out of options to entertain myself, and that's a very um, bad place. So there are some people like these two, Musk and Gates, right? Now they are also quite. They have done a lot of hard work and they have become lucky in their lives, but they have done this thing that their next set of goals are very far away. They are almost unachievable. Bill Gates wants to eradicate the world poverty. Elon Musk wants to go to Mars and colonize there. So these goals are so far away, they can't achieve them fast. If they can achieve them fast, they'll be just very bored of their life. So I think this is a mechanism that they have, that they keep their goals so far away, almost impossible level, so they can still live without committing suicide like Avicii and these guys. A simple simile is, let's say that you are playing hockey. You get this hockey stick. Every time you touch the puck, it's a goal. Will hockey be fun anymore? Right? You get a tennis racket. Every time it touches the ball, the opponent, it's a point for you. Will tennis be fun for you? Right? So people think that happiness is happiness is fun, but it's not fun if we have a lot of that. Right? It's like kids here. They come here tonight, this afternoon. They love cheese pizza. Right? One day there were less kids because of the weather, and there was a lot of pizza boxes. They just, they didn't want to look at pizza anymore. Right? So even the happiness, if we get that in a higher dose, we are going to get bored of that. So there's this that nature in our mind. So is there a thing called ultimate happiness, 100% content happiness? Is there a thing like that in the world? What do you think? Is there 100% happiness, happy content point?
No, because it's not in the world, it's in your mind.
Right.
Sorry.
But when we look at the factors, we need 4 things to get our happiness: people, places, etc. They need resources, which are usually limited. And then even if we have them, even if we get that happiness, we can't sustain it. So this is a pretty bad state to be in as humans. We need to, for sure, figure out a solution for this. From our morning to evening, every day, we have 5 buckets that we are trying to fill. Eye, ear, nose, tongue and body. We are trying to fill these buckets, but all these buckets, they have a hole. There's a hole in the bucket, right? There's a song like that. So we try to look at beautiful things with our eyes. We are trying to fill our eyes with that beauty and be happy. But the following day, it's all drained. We have to start something new again. You do the same thing with the ear. You listen to music. After some time, you need to look into something else. You sleep on it, wake up in the following day, it's gone. You need to fill that bucket again from the beginning. So we keep filling these buckets. In fact, that's what we do from morning to evening. We try to keep filling these buckets, but they are never fulfilled. They are never filled to the brim. They are never fully filled. There's a leak in the bucket. So if we again try to be very analytical, and let's take the bell curve to the next level, a 3D bell curve. Is there a peak or is there an ultimate happiness? Right? If we look into this nature, we find a beautiful discussion in Pali Canon called the Baya Sutta. A person can never be 100% satisfied due to 4 things. The first thing is that there's fear of punishment. All the fun things in the world, most of the fun things are, they are not legal sometimes, or they are not correct. That's why as kids, as young kids, they break a lot of rules and they have a lot of fun. But as adults, you can't do the same things. There's a lot more punishment to that. Again, for kids can get away because they are cute. They can get away by breaking certain rules. But as adults, you can't do those. Right? So there's always this fear of punishment which keeps you away from being 100% happy. There's also The fear of afterlife, depending on if you believe in afterlife. It seems like I asked this question from a lot of people. At least 80 to 90% seems to be believing in some form of an afterlife. So if you do certain things which are not in line with your commandments, you're supposed to go to a bad place. If you are a Hindu, if you are a Buddhist or a Jain, you do certain things, there's a repercussion in your afterlife. Not that someone is judging you, but you get the result of your own action, karma. Right? So either way, you are going to get penalized in your next life. So a lot of people would abstain or want to do things but not do things because of this fear of afterlife. So even if you want to become really happy, there's fear of punishment. Even if you do it without getting caught, then there's still the fear of afterlife, right? So there's that nature. But then there's even a bigger nature why we can't be completely happy. The fear of what others would think about you. How am I going to get branded? Am I going to get branded as a bad person, like a not so nice person to associate with because he's doing these things, or that person is doing these things, right? So fear of others' reproach is a major thing that we cannot be completely happy and do what we want to do. We cannot be completely liberated because of that. That's always holding us. But then even worse, there's the fear of self-reproach. Forget about the others. There's no one who's watching. But I have a guilt about it. Right? So because of those four, no one can ever be 100% happy usually. Except for few people. A crazy person. Right? He does not have the fear of punishment. He does not have a fear of afterlife if he does not believe in that. He doesn't care about what others think. He's just crazy. He could do whatever he likes. That's why sometimes you find the manic people, they're very happy. They're very, they're singing and all that. But the downside is you cannot be manic all the time. Our mind is very bipolar. After the manic stage, there comes the depression stage, the withdrawal stage, and then you're very upset. You're neurotic, you're crazy, and you're hurting people and trying to fight with people. So being crazy for a particular phase is good, but then you can't sustain that. Being a child, children are very free. They don't care about what other people think about you because they are not taught. They still don't understand that. They don't have the same understanding as the adults. They are not conditioned. So they would just do things that adults would not do, and they would be more happier. That's why I said until 3+, universe is very kind to you. You get excused. They would say, oh, this is a cute kid. He or she is doing something wrong, but it's okay because that's a kid. But the downside or the nature of being a kid and becoming happy is that you cannot be a kid forever. You have to grow up. You have to be conditioned into that society to a point that it's impossible to get out of that track. Can an enlightened person let go of all these four? So we have the crazy person, we have the child, both which we can't sustain. Is there a way that we can somehow enlighten ourselves and then go above these four and then come to this 100% of happiness? Now that is a question. Let's see if there's slightest possibility, not like a promised land. There's a promised land here, you have to go there. But let's see if that's a possibility. Okay, so with that, I will end the first session today. So in summary, we looked at the nature of our happy mind, right? The nature of our happy mind. Is happiness really happiness, right? Or is it a continuous tiring journey, a continuous seeking of trying to fill that buckets all the time from morning to evening, and you wake up the following day, you are still not satisfied. So is there a way to feel that content, satisfaction? So the important thing is anything that we discuss today, it's not theory. It's simple observation, right? I don't think I actually told anything new today. Everything that I discussed here, you knew that already. My job here, my purpose here is to point it out. That's it. I'm only pointing things out. I'm not trying to give you anything. You already have these things. So let's now together try to find this nature of our mind and find if there's a way that we can really be happy and content. Let's keep it as a goal, and let's see if it's at least remotely possible. So with that note, let's do this chant. You can even follow with me if you want to. We are going to wish that everyone around me, everyone in all directions, in all realms, all beings of all types and shapes, may all these beings be joyful, may they be peaceful, and may they be blissful. We say it in Pali as Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukhi Tatta. Sabbe Satta Bhavantu Sukhi Tatta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.